Welcome to the Winning in Business podcast. I'm your host, Kelli Rissy, and I love talking to business professionals, leaders, and entrepreneurs who are winning in business. Are you ready to reach your next level of success? If so, join us on the Winning in Business podcast as I interview entrepreneurs, business professionals, and leaders who share how they've risen to success. Before we begin, go ahead, hit subscribe and the notification button so you'll be notified each time a new episode is released. Plug in and settle in. You're about to be inspired to rise up to your next level of success. Welcome back to another episode of Winning in Business. My name is Kelli Rissy, your host, and today I am here by myself. And that is for a couple of reasons. So for my followers out there, you may have noticed that I didn't post anything the last 2 weeks. That is because I have had some things going on in my life and have also been experiencing some stress. For me, I've been using all my strategies, and one of them, when you become a caretaker, for people that do not live in your home, one of them was what has to be done and getting done what has to be done. And that was my clients, my speaking engagements. And so my podcast, which I absolutely love doing, love it, love it, love it, love interviewing people, but that one had to take a back seat. So I'm super excited to be back today. And we are going to be talking about ways that we handle stress. And I just love this. But before that, right now, we're pretty much in a mental health crisis. Would you agree? And if you look at being a business owner and an entrepreneur, there is so much stress on business owners and entrepreneurs. And I want to share some of the top stressors that my clients are dealing with. These are in no specific order. Managing their staff. That's a big stressor. You have a lot of personalities coming together. And if you don't know how to communicate within those personalities, number one, get a hold of me. Let's talk about how to do that, because communicating with staff, being transparent with your staff is key. And, I had just worked on something with one of my clients on this specifically, and also being that role model so that you are living and showing how you want your employees to be doing as well. Another one, keeping up admin work, right? Admin work's always coming in for us to do. And yes, we can delegate a ton of it. And there are some things that we also need to do ourselves. This is a big one, feeling responsible for the success or failure of the company, right? That is always weighing on a business owner's shoulders. Compliance, making sure that you're just staying up with rules and regulations for your industry. Expenses, the money going in and the money coming out. This is when you really need to look at your money beliefs, see if you have any disempowering money beliefs going on with that, so you can bust through them so that the money thing isn't as big as a stressor. So that's definitely one that can be taken care of. Keeping your clients happy, that can be a stressor. Imposter syndrome, this is also a big one. Taxes. Multitasking and managing your schedule. This is something that can be pretty easily fixed. I feel like having a coach to help you do this is fantastic because, again, coaches see the blind spots, but if you can learn how to block schedule and get everything in line that way and stop the multitasking, your life will become a whole lot easier. And then the last one is the time pressure, right? So managing work and life. When we become business owners, it's often because we're tired of working for someone else and want to do it ourselves. Now all the responsibility lies on us. And then the time crunch comes in, which then can take away time from our families unless you know how to get around that. Right? Another thing that I coach my clients on so that they have time. My clients have time for themselves, for personal care, for their families, for their hobbies. So if that's something that you aren't doing right now, that is huge because y'all, work can suck the joy out of you. So you need to make sure that you're spending time doing what you love. All right. So everyone, just like everyone has their own personality, everyone also has their own one-of-a-kind approach to handling stress.
I want to talk about 3 of the top ways that I see people handling stress, and I'm going to talk to them in animal way, like talk about them in relationship to animals, because it's something we can easily understand. And I want you to identify which of these is you, or are you all 3 of them, depending on what the situation is. And looking at my life the last couple weeks, I could see where I fell into a little bit of each one of these categories, depending on the specific, really like, if it was business and it was this certain part, handling clients, working with clients, I would handle stress this way. If it was, the podcast, I handled it this way. And, if it's family related, I would handle it a different way. So kind of look at that and see where you fall in this. So the first one, some people handle stress like turtles, and they withdraw into their shells whenever they feel stress. And then they completely avoid dealing with it. It's like, if I just withdraw and I pretend it doesn't exist, it will go away. They often isolate, right? So if these are the people that you really have to recognize, like, they're usually out and about and I haven't seen them, or they call me and I haven't heard from them. And you really need to check on them because they're in their shells and they're withdrawn, right? So think about if that's with you and what area specifically. And, for the turtles, hiding is not going to make any of the stress go away. You can hide forever and the stress is still going to be there because the problem is still there. So it's getting to the root of the problem so that you can handle it, right? All right. Then there are those that are like elephants, who drag the burden of stress around them wherever they go. And sometimes these people appear more cumbersome, like the weight on them appears, the stress greater than it actually is. And so, these people, you can kind of feel that energy of the people that drag the burden of stress around with them. So think about if you do that. Are you someone that drags that burden around with you? If so, there's definitely like there are strategies for all of these, but your energy is probably really down, and that's making everything worse, because when we don't have energy and we don't, feel our best selves, that also causes stress. All right, then the last one is the cheetahs. And the cheetahs race through tension, race through it. They're like, I just need to get to the other side as fast as I can. But what happens is they typically become very exhausted quickly, and they burn out. Especially if you're being a cheetah all the time and trying to outrun the stress, outrun the problems, outrun, like, if I just do this, everything will be fine. I just got to keep going and everything will be fine, right? And never really stopping and addressing the internal. So I always go back to, there are stressors that we're often addressing and putting Band-Aids on them and never getting to the root problem. And we get to the root problem, then you can actually release the stress. So, each way of handling stress in these 3 ways has its own energy. And we know that energy is what makes the world go round. We feel each other's energy. You enter a room and you can feel the energy of the people in the room. You make a phone call, you can feel the energy from the other person. And so I believe that as humans, like, our purpose is to be spreading good energy, right? Creating that ripple effect. Because when we walk into places with energy that we know we have because we have dealt with our stress in appropriate ways and got to the root cause, then your energy can change and can be so much better. And then that is that ripple effect that goes around and everything just becomes better. The universe likes positive energy. So, first of all, it's essential for you to understand these types and know where you fall into each. Because when you're acting like a turtle, there are specific strategies that you can do to help. If you're acting like an elephant, there are specific stress management strategies you can do. When you're acting like a cheetah, right? So all of these, first is awareness. then you can start addressing them in a way that you need to. But you're like, Kelli, well, what animal do we want to be like? All right, so zebras and lions. Okay, so zebras and lions, they see trouble coming in the minute that it's coming, and their stress response kicks in, and then they do what they need to. What they're not doing is getting ulcers because they're anticipating the stress that's coming. This is what humans do. Humans live so far out into the future that the stress is often from the future. It's the anticipation, right? We don't even know if it's really going to happen or not, but we're already stressing about it. Lions and zebras don't do that. They also don't dwell on what happened in the past. So if they went hungry for a day, if something happened, they forget about it. It's done. It's over. It happened. They move on. That is also something that us humans, right? We can get stuck in the past. And if any of you have heard me say before, anxiety is from living in the future. Your mind is in the future. And depression is your mind is in the past, right? Like you're trying to figure out, like, how can I get back there? Will I ever get back to the way things used to be? Or the coulda, woulda, shouldas that happened in the past. So noting those, we always want to come back to the present moment. And our zebra and lions live in the present moment. A lion's like, I need food. Now is the time of day. Off I go, get it, bam, bring it back, done. Then it goes and rests under the tree until the next time that it needs food. So we can learn from them. And, I want to share a story. So I heard this story. I was listening to Tony Robbins the other day, and I heard a story about him helping two musical artists. And the first one was Carly Simon. So Carly Simon called him and was like, Tony, I need your help. Here's what's going on. And what she told him is that when she was about ready to go on stage, her heart starts racing, her palms start getting sweaty, and she gets these butterflies in her stomach. And she starts to have this sensation running through her body that like runs out into her fingertips. And then what she said next is, and that's when I know I'm having a panic attack. Now, he also went and talked to Bruce Springsteen. And he was like, Bruce, how do you do it all these years? Do you still get nervous? Kind of just asking him questions. And what Bruce said is, when I'm about to go on stage, my heart starts racing, my palms start sweating, I get butterflies in my stomach. I start to get this sensation throughout my body that goes all the way out through my fingertips. You see the parallel so far? And then what Bruce Springsteen said is, and that's when I know I'm ready to rock the audience. Same feelings, two different mindsets. One is that feeling, the mindset is it gives me a panic attack. Bruce is like, that means I'm ready. I'm excited. I'm, ready to just go out and perform and rock the stage and give my best performance. The mind is a powerful thing, and we can condition it to give good meaning to our senses and our feelings, right? And be thinking about that in different ways. And, we know that one of the big things right now is people really talking about anxiety, right? And, my biggest thing right now is thinking. Sometimes we throw that word around when we really mean excitement, nervous energy. And sometimes it truly is anxiety, right? But it's knowing the difference and understanding the difference that we can have an excitement and a nervous energy about something and have the exact same sensation in our body that we can in the opposite, but it's how we think about it. So as you go through this week, one, I want you to, what stressors are you experiencing right now? And do you need help with those? Often it's a mindset that you just need to readjust your mindset, and the stress can look differently for you, right? Like you can address these in a way and learn stress management techniques that can reduce the stress. And then the other is when you are stressed, how are you handling it? Are you the turtle? Are you the elephant? Are you the cheetah? Notice if you're all three and notice in what areas. And, if you do that, then we can have a further discussion about what you need next and how I could possibly help you. So those are some things to be thinking about. Get your mindset in the right place. And it was so great to be back with you. Hopefully next week I will be coming on with a guest, but I invite you to share, like, comment, reach out to me. Let me know what you learned today, or let me know which one of those that you feel like you are. Always love feedback. And then stay tuned for next week, and hopefully we will have another Winning in Business guest on our podcast. And have a great one.
Thank you for being a part of the Winning in Business podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode and want to rise up to your next level of success, but are worried about increased stress, time for work and yourself and your family, not to mention being exhausted, I'd like to invite you to a complimentary strategy call where I'll show you how you can do it all. I'll help you reclaim time, keep your sanity, handle the chaos with ease, and move to the next level of success that you deserve and desire. I hope you found value in listening today. Please always leave your comments, feedback, or questions. We check them all. I want you to continue winning in business and reach your next level of success. See you next time.